I don't know if you were here for it. I charted this chart back in 2018. I had no idea what was going to happen, but I wanted to kind of come up with my own plan in terms of the next Bitcoin bull market that we were really hoping would happen. Because look at this chart. This was December 2018 was when I charted it. We just survived an entire bear market and it was brutal. And going into this next cycle back then, I was kind of like, man, what data is out there to suggest that history might repeat and we might get another bull market? And I put together this chart. It's based off of the halving, step 1, step 2, all-time high a year later, step 3, correction. And this is how it played out. This is the chart in 2018, and this is how it played out. You can see where I charted it, and we enter that next cycle. Now, is that to say we're definitely going to repeat ourselves? No, we can never say that, right? But out of all the theories, out of all of the ideas, out of all of the things that the crypto space, myself, all of us do videos on and speculate about, nothing has been more consistent. Nothing has acted as a better roadmap than what we have right here. And so from a foundational perspective, as we navigate these cycles, and we can go to a Bitcoin chart where I do a lot of my TA, we are comparing where we are in this cycle compared to the last cycle. Here is kind of a similar area, right? Here's that Bitcoin halving in 2020. Here's the Bitcoin halving of 2024, right around that area. So we're right on schedule. There's no other piece of data that I want to follow right now in terms of preparing for what might come next. And so in this video, I want to utilize this as kind of the roadmap that I say that it is for me personally, and that's all this is. This is just the way that I see things. But there's another piece of data happening in the world right now, and it's this one. It's the US dollar currency index. Obviously, Federal Reserve been tightening like crazy. It's been a wild ride for all of us outside of crypto, just in life, right? Everything that's happening with the economy has been absolutely insane. But they've been tightening. Now, here's the thing. The timing of this chart, this is the US dollar currency index, and you can see this is a weekly. Look at the weekly rise on the US dollar currency index. Not good for risk on assets like crypto. Now, I want to point something out, and then we can talk about this. The timing, what's happening with the US dollar currency index, could not be any better for crypto cycles. So we just looked at the crypto cycles, kind of where we are this cycle. So let's just set it straight. We're kind of in the middle of this accumulation phase going into the next halving. We're saying speculatively, because historically what has happened post halving, we're waiting for that true bull move, right? And we can even go back here, 2016 halving, that true bull move. So we're waiting, and we still have some time. To give you some context into how much time we have, we're looking at about, from where we are right now until the next halving, over 200 days. So we still have some time, but the timing of this, aligning with something like what's happening from a macroeconomic standpoint, what's happening from the US dollar currency index, it could not be any better, in my opinion. So what I did here was, this is the DXY chart, US dollar currency index, and I basically plotted out these red rectangles that I have to show us where we are in cycles on the Bitcoin chart, and this is the Bitcoin chart. I took those red rectangles just for visualization purposes. This isn't rocket science, and I put them here on this chart, US dollar. So I want to point two things out. Number one, if we look at what's going on in this chart, if I can find my brush, this right here, many of you know because it feels like yesterday, but it wasn't yesterday. This was all the way back here, November 2021, was essentially the top of the last bull market, right? So go to a Bitcoin chart right here, top of the last bull market. Bitcoin started falling. What did the dollar do? It just started rising, right? And it makes sense. We just survived all that. Now it's been choppy. US dollar fell. Now we're just sideways. We got some bullish gains for US dollar. But check out what it's doing right now as we're approaching this next halving. I can't say, and nobody can, when the US dollar is going to start retracing and start falling again. But what I do know is there is a ton of talk in 2024, Fed pivoting, and this chart right here is going to look a lot different than it has in the last 8 weeks or so. And so there could be a couple different cases, right? in that last cycle, and this is really what I wanted to compare with where we are in this cycle in the US dollar chart, put us right around here. You can see there was this kind of blow off top before boom. And look at this. Look at that Bitcoin halving, US dollar falling. Basically it's the crypto bull market right here. When will that happen and how will we get there? When we finally reach the next halving, are we going to be up here, right? US dollar finally retracing. Will already start retracing, get a little pump, and then fall. What is this going to look like? I don't exactly know, but what I do know, the story is aligning. The story is setting up so well, and it all is based off of this chart that I did all the way back here in 2018. It's coinciding so nicely, and it's obviously a coincidence that it's happening like this. We just survived this bear market. Fed's raising interest rates like crazy in this bear market that we just went through. And then going into the next cycle, going into this next period of time after the next Bitcoin halving, we're going to start having this loosening of policy, right? Interest rates start coming back down. And that is perfect setup for the US dollar to begin falling. So want to point something out on this chart. If we look at the last cycle, you can actually see from this high all the way back in 2017 to this low on the US dollar chart, it topped out right around and saw a lot of resistance at this Fibonacci. So I think in the worst case scenario, this is what I'm telling myself. From the swing high on this chart to the swing low so far, I'm giving it the room, right? To continue to the upside. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but over the coming months, remember we said 200 days. Check out this. This is 3 to 6% or so to the upside for US dollar in play. Maybe we get resistance here. Maybe we don't even reach that area. I'm giving it that room, right? And unfortunately, what that could potentially mean for a risk on assets like Bitcoin, like crypto, is that kind of continues to trickle down. But this is something we saw back here at the same area of the bear market, right? Trickling down, testing key areas, testing higher low areas from the low that was already put in, right? Higher low, higher low. So if the US dollar is going to continue rising in the short to midterm, in this red rectangle approaching the halving, there is potentially some downplay or downside in play for crypto. And that's something that I'm anticipating. I don't want that to happen, especially on the altcoin side of market. Altcoins they've already bled a lot, right? So seeing them go down even more, it's brutal to think about that. But I'm reminding myself of what I was doing back here when I charted this chart in 2018. And the cycles, in my view, are on track. There's going to be a lot of noise, right? You're going to see a lot about this is the daily chart in the US dollar. And you can just see this 20-day moving average just crossing above the 50-day and the 200-day. We see that happening. You go to a Bitcoin daily chart, check this out. Look at that 50-day approaching the 200-day. And you're going to see a lot of bearish headlines because of that happening. But when I zoom out on this chart, all that I see is consolidation. And when we get consolidation like that on the Bitcoin chart, this is what happens. These moving averages, you could just zoom out on a chart. These moving averages, they cross each other. They truly do collide. They consolidate. And that's really what I see happening here on these charts is it's a consolidation in the bear market bottom formation. We're waiting on a higher low. We have our targets we talk about on Bitcoin, higher low area, Fibonacci area. But at the end of the day, just tweeted this a little bit ago, poetically on time, the bulls will suddenly wake up and crypto will begin its march into the next bull market. No guarantees, but if you're out there, if you agree with that, let me know in the comments below. And if you're still out there in general, I appreciate you. Smash that subscribe if you're not a subscriber, because we're prepping up, everybody. Things are about to get crazy in crypto in the next, let's say, 200 to 300 days, and we're getting very close after the bear market that we just survived. Let me know your thoughts. Please let me know your thoughts. I'm really curious how you're all doing out there. I'll see you all in the next video. God bless.